Ever since the assassination of Charlie Kirk on September 10th, we have seen a wave of celebrities really coming out and saying some downright offensive things about the guy and his friends/family, even his own wife, Erika Kirk. And that just goes to show you exactly what's going on with Hollywood, the hypocrisy of Hollywood right now, and everything in between. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, you do have some other celebrities that are lending their support to Charlie, his family, his friends, even his own wife, Erika Kirk. You have people like Tim Allen, Mel Gibson, James Woods, Sylvester Stallone, and even Ricky Gervais, who is now taking shots at many of those celebrities out there that have mocked Charlie Kirk and used it as an actual way to politicize the situation that happened on September 10th. Now, we know one thing about Ricky Gervais is that he is the very sole individual that actually mocked a lot of celebrities on stage. I believe it was at the Golden Globes, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but it was the Golden Globes, I believe, where he really just did that in front of everybody on live television. What's interesting here, though, has a lot more to do with the fact that you are now dealing with more and more actors, comedians, and directors out there really beginning to actually take a side and to break silence and to really just show exactly the hypocrisy of Hollywood, right? How one-sided it truly is as well when it comes to exactly who these studios affiliate, the actors with. But what's interesting here yet again is the fact that we are now dealing with a lot of people out there like Robert De Niro and Alec Baldwin, Tom Hanks, and among others like Mark Hamill, Stephen King, just really serving as this resistance, if you will, and taking a lot of advantage of the whole situation to just use it as an anti-Trump rhetoric. Now, ever since the Charlie Kirk assassination, a wide range of celebrities have been taking advantage of the whole scenario by politicizing it into an anti-Trump political talking point toward the public. However, one major development going on now involves more to do with comedian and actor Ricky Gervais calling out the many celebrities out there in Hollywood taking advantage of Charlie's, of course, assassination to push their political narrative. Now, Ricky delivered the following. I know there is a lot of hurt going on right now in the United States because of that terrible thing and the terrible things that happened to this kind human being known as Charlie Kirk, but that does not give anyone a right to grab hold of this situation to push their political ideology, and I am seeing a majority of this type of behavior coming from show business, something I so happen to be a part of, and it's embarrassing that this is what this industry has come to. You can dislike Trump all you want and have different views all you want about the man, but to use Kirk's murder as a way to hop on the bandwagon to go off on your typical and predictable anti-Trump rhetoric is disgusting. Like, just absolutely rubbish. Shame on these people that call themselves actors, because you are only tainting the industry as we know it. And that goes for comedians as well. If you know who I'm referencing, you are not living under a rock. What has happened to the United States to take advantage of the death of a young man to push your political side is not only showing us that you lack any form of empathy, it just shows us how two-faced many of the talents we have in this industry today and in show business in general. Do your job and act. You are paid to make believe. That's the explain like I'm 5 version, okay? You are not a politician. Leave it out. Leave it out. Leave it to the political commentators to say what they have to say. The only advice I can give to these celebrities is to stay in your lane. Nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to hear your political opinion or your forced narrative on others. We don't want it. Stick to reading your lines and taking your paycheck only to disguise yourselves in the public from the paparazzis, okay? I'm a comedian. I sure know when I'm able to stay in my lane. I make jokes, and if I ever make a political joke, mind you, it is never to persuade others to think a different way. It's just purely to make people laugh in the moment and then to later move on. I think all these comedians and actors need to really take life less seriously with their careers, especially, and to stop merging their politics with their careers. Because once you do that, it's over, especially when you are taking it personally and making it personal and pressing those emotions on and that type of behavior onto the public. Now, guys, let me say one thing about Ricky Gervais. Now, it all started with Ricky, as I always like to say. That's the one thing I actually like to always say over and over again. It all started with Ricky, right? Between 2016 and now, he really did shake up Hollywood. He really did. And when he actually did that on the Golden Globes by really just calling out the whole nature of Hollywood, the nature of all these celebrities, it really embarrassed and humiliated them. And you could actually see that on footage. You could actually see that especially with Tom Hanks and how he just looked so offended by what Ricky Gervais said so many years ago at this point. Interestingly enough, alright, when you're looking at everything going on with the whole Charlie Kirk situation, I think I really have to say, the fact that we are now seeing more actors and comedians, directors, etc., beginning to break silence and beginning to call out other celebrities in general to really just show them exactly what they are doing to not just their careers, but to their image and how people actually perceive them. That just goes to show you that a lot of people are paying attention to what's going on right now with the whole Charlie Kirk situation. It really is a very big deal, so much to the point that it's rattling throughout the entire world. It's not just a issue for the United States. You're seeing this actually happen in various countries around the globe, and that's exactly how powerful this whole thing really is. Now, of course, Gervais continues, what happened on September 10th was a tragedy for the USA, and we are feeling it all over right now, because what happened was an obvious attack on freedom of speech. And look, you celebrities can say all you want, you have freedom of speech too, but there is no such thing as freedom of consequence. Do you got that? Okay, moving along now. So Ricky makes a very good point there, alright? There is freedom of speech. These celebrities can say whatever they want to say. You know, people like Robert De Niro, let's be real, he has every right to say what he has to say. But at the end of the day, he really is in no place at all. People like De Niro, people like Clooney, and Stephen King, Mark Hamill, and so many others out there, they're really in no place to politicize the death of Charlie Kirk and what happened on September 10th by a terrible human being. Again, he shall remain nameless over here until the end of time. I think nobody should ever mention that guy's name again. But what's interesting about this yet again is that you have more comedians and actors that are just actually beginning to just show their frustration with the industry, right? With the film industry, with the music industry, with just show business and everything going on with comedians as well. Obviously, he was taking a little shot at Jimmy Kimmel there without naming him. We all know that Jimmy Kimmel, that was like a pivotal moment, because what he did on air could have been prevented by ABC, it could have been prevented by Disney, and it goes to show you how Disney just lies to the public, right? If they really wanted to, they could have prevented Jimmy Kimmel from doing that on the air. All of those late night television shows, for those of you that do not know, they are pre-taped. They are taped hours before they actually go on television. They're usually taped around 4:30, maybe 5, the latest, to really just, you know, put that as an example there, when they actually film it, and then they actually edit it, and then they air it around, you know, 10:30, 11 p.m. Again, we know that people like Ricky, Mel Gibson, Sylvester Stallone, Tim Allen now, James Woods, and many more are coming forward to really just lend their support to Charlie, his family, his loved ones, and even Erika, Kirk as well. Overall, I would love to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.